Hi guys, it's Red here, and today I want to talk to you about new Tier 10 light tanks which were tested on Sandbox recently. You probably have been waiting for my opinion on that for quite some time, for several days, maybe a week already. And I gave it some thought, I made some conclusions, and I want to discuss the stats of these tanks, how they will change the gameplay, what will happen to World of Tanks with the introduction of these light tanks. So let's get to business. So first comes the top American light tank Sheridan, which will have a lowest camo, the quite low mobility, and will keep the T-49's current T-49's howitzer with it, and it will have 420 meters of view range, which sounds really great, but when you see the other light tanks, you will change your mind. And also its max speed is 65 kilometers an hour. So, like, comparing it to the current T-49 M1 Tier 8, so far T-49 is still capable of scouting, even though it's like not that great for that. It can still do something. Whereas this Sheridan will be totally useless as a scout, and dealing only damage with this gun will be extremely hard. So in my opinion, it's a rather weak light tank. And yeah, of course I will buy it because I want just to test it, but using this derp gun on Tier 10 tank, well, maybe not such a great idea. Also, it has a regular gun with 390 alpha. You can also play with that gun, but still, this tank is quite bad for scouting, and changing the gun won't change anything, like in that sense. So, if I ever play this tank, and if you ever play this tank, I recommend to play it with derp gun, then you can do something at least. But still, as a light tank, it will be much weaker than current T-49 M1 Tier 8 light tanks. Next comes the AMX-13-105, the logical advancement of AMX-1390, but with 105mm gun, which deals 390 damage per shot, and we have 3 shells in the magazine. Of course, it would be silly to give it more shells in the magazine, otherwise it will make just bad shots useless, because they both have no armor, and this tank is quicker, this tank has greater view range, this tank also have quite some stabilization, this tank has better gun depression, -8, which is good for a French tank, and just good in general, -8 is quite comfortable. So if this tank also had a very cool gun, it will make just bad shot useless. So overall we have also 420 meters view range, 68 kilometers an hour max speed, and yeah, kinda comfortable mobility. But our view range is not that superior, and it will be still just an okay light tank, which can defend itself at least. But remember that 3 times 390, which is almost 1200, is not enough to take out an entire, even light tank enemy, at least of Tier 10. So don't rush at other light tanks without support. So that's pretty much everything I want to say about this tank. It's kinda interesting vehicle, but certainly not number 1 to grind. So next is T-100 light tank, the top Soviet light tank. It looks very hilarious, I have to say. It's very kinda as if you dropped something, you dropped a truck onto a T-54 lightweight or so. So it's rather long, it's rather wide, but it's very low. So it's kind of something like ELC on Tier 10, maybe like fat ELC. And what's interesting about this tank is that it has best camo, which can be boosted up to 40, maybe 40 and a bit percent, which is an unbelievable number for a Tier 10 tank. Also, it has not 390 alpha, but 320 alpha, so it has gun of Soviet medium tanks, but has just 1 second greater reload of those. So if you boost the current reload time, which you see in these stats, you'll get something like 6.5 seconds, maybe 6.6, and Object 140 and Object T62A, sorry, They have something like 5.5, 5.6 reload time. So this guy is really DPM-y. It's comfortable, it's sneaky, quite quick. Look at that, power to weight ratio it's skyrocketing. So this will be definitely an interesting vehicle to play. You should definitely try it. It looks very, very promising. It doesn't have some super mega view range, but due to its completely awesome camo, due to its invisibility, you can be such a threat to enemy tanks. So you should definitely try it. And by the way, this turret can also bounce off some shells because of its form. It's not like super armored, but it's really well angled. So yeah, give this vehicle a try. Probably you will like it. Here comes the Chinese vehicle, a very interesting vehicle, I have to say, the WZ1321. Here are several things we have to focus on. First, we are not as quick as our light tanks. Well, that's kind of feature of all Chinese light tanks, which doesn't make them worse. Chinese light tanks are one of the best light tanks, and so will be this guy. I think this is one of the best light tanks so far. It has 430 meters view range. 430 sounds really amazing. It has 246 millimeters of penetration, just 2 millimeters less than TVP, and TVP has usually no problems with penetration. It's kinda, you should really shoot some weaker spots of the enemies, but it's not such a great problem, especially with this kind of mobility. You have 200 millimeters of frontal turret armor, and it's quite sloped, so you can bounce off some, well, at least some medium tanks shells and heavy tanks shells probably. You have anti-heat staples, or what to call that, around turret. So you have armor, you have, well, okay mobility, just like other Chinese tanks. You have great view range, you have awesome DPM. Your reload is quicker than of E50M. You also deal 390, just like E50M, but your DPM is greater than E50M. Come on! Like, the only weak spot here is the accuracy of 0.4, but if you boost it, it will be something like 0.37, 0.36, which is quite okay already. This guy has the best DPM of all light tanks. Personally, I think this is an incredible tank, and you should definitely grind for it. And you'll have a lot of fun during grinding it on the whole Chinese line, but this tank is definitely worth it. If it comes in the game the way it looks like now, it will be one of the best tanks, and maybe even overpowered, I can say. It could be overpowered. But that's not everything, we still have one light tank to go, that's German Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. So this body has an awesome mobility, just look at the power to weight ratio, it's incredible. It has 440 meters view range, absolutely crazy, it's crazy. And it's so quick, and it has also nice DPM, it has good penetration, it has nice accuracy. This tank has everything. In my opinion, the best light tank of tier 10, with the only tank which could somehow be an opponent of this tank, WZ1321. So WZ1321 and Panzerwagen, two definitely best light tanks. The Chinese and the German, just as now on tier 8, I would say. Absolutely incredible tank with absolutely horrible and overpowered view range. Just look at that, I made some calculations. Now tell me, how many of you have camo fully trained on your medium tanks? Well, maybe a quarter of you, maybe 1/10 of you, I don't know, but people usually don't train camo on medium tanks, or at least don't train it on all crew members. Maybe you have like one or two crew members who have camo. But I made some calculations. I have painted Batchat with 100% trained camo on all crew members, all three. So my view range on Batchat can't be better. My Batchat, if it's stationary, it will be spotted by this tank. By this tank it will be spotted from 370 meters if it's steel, and from 414 meters, let me remind you, fully boosted camo, absolutely. 414 meters if it's on the move. Now, when this tank, Panzerwagen, is just crossing the area, it spots everything around. Like, everything within 400 meters is definitely spotted. You can boost its view range to 560 meters on the move. And like the Chinese with 430 base view range can boost it to 550 meters view range, so pretty much same thing. Can you imagine how overpowered these two tanks are? They have really great guns, penetrating guns, they have huge alpha, they have nice DPM. The German has also gun depression. They have everything, they have terrifying view range. In my opinion, like, Panzerwagen is totally overpowered in terms of view range, and I just want to say that I think that in World of Tanks there shouldn't be a tank with more than 420 meters base view range, because otherwise the whole gameplay, like, it will be frozen, because you know that if you play some Object 140 or T62A, the second you ever run from your base, you want to get to some flank, you will be spotted on the way, because your camo doesn't play any role. Like, Panzerwagen doesn't give a shit about your camo. Like, you have 25% camo. I'll spot you anyway. That's just how crazy it is. Maybe like some light tank should have 430 meters camo, but then it should have nothing apart from that. It should be so in mobility and shouldn't have any gun at all. Like, no gun. Let it be just some racing vehicle, you know, with good view range. Okay. But the way it is now, I think that the German and Chinese and also Soviet, due to its incredible camo, Soviet light tanks, these three light tanks can break the whole gameplay, in my opinion. And players will play these tanks a lot, so we will have like 5 or 6 light tanks per side, which is absolutely stupid, because I think that there should be at most 2 light tanks per team. It doesn't just make sense to have like 4 light tanks per team, because whenever there is a battle with 4 light tanks on each side, it turns into some mess. Like, light tanks are driving back and forth and there is some hell going on and you don't understand anything. There should be like 2, at most 3 light tanks in the battle, but 3 is already too much. I would say 1 or 2, but 1 is impossible because people do play light tanks, and 2 is just a good number. But with this kind of light tanks, the WZ and Panzerwagen, there would be like 2 WZs and 2 Panzerwagens per team in every battle, which is like not the way it should be, right? So far, I think that the light tanks are totally overpowered. They are totally replacing medium tanks, because medium tanks don't really have armor, and even like those like T62A, come on, you have some turret armor, but you have 5 degrees of gun depression. You can't use it really well. And yeah, WZ1321 also have some turret armor. Yeah, it's worse, but it does have it. So medium tanks are replaced by light tanks. Probably Wargaming wants us all to grind to these light tanks, but this is a complete disaster, I think, because the teams will just be camping the whole battle, because they know that if they kind of poke their nose out from their base, they will be immediately spotted by Panzerwagen or 1321. So that's how it goes so far. This is my opinion. I think that all light tanks should be rebalanced and should be nerfed a bit. Probably even nerf some penetration so that they can't deal damage that well, because so far they can even deal a lot of damage. They are not losing too much to medium tanks in terms of dealing damage. That's also why light tanks can replace medium tanks. You kind of lose 1 or 1.5 seconds of reload time, but you get so much advantage for that. You get incredible mobility with over 30 horses per ton for all of the tanks, and 2 of them have over 50 horses per ton. And you have, yeah, incredible mobility, incredible camo comparing to medium tanks, completely superior view range. So why Why should you play medium tank if you can play a light tank and get even better results, even on city maps? So that's everything I wanted to say about light tanks at this point. If you agree with me or disagree, leave your opinion in comments. Yeah, like this video if you liked it. Like this video if you disliked it, because I like your likes. Like. So subscribe to the channel not to miss anything interesting. Share this video with your friends. Share this opinion with your friends. And see you in the next videos.